Finally awake, huh?
I have a name, Phi. Where am I? I rubbed my eyes and slid my legs off the bed to stand up. Well, to be honest, it was an examination table, not a bed. Which meant... the infirmary, huh?
I guess they carried you out here after you passed out.
You guess?
I wasn't there to see it. I was out just like you, but I was in the AB room.
Why?
That bastard K. He punched me in the stomach.
Oh,
What?
that's not very nice, Kay.
Okay.
I can't believe him. He didn't want me voting, so...
Whoa. And after he knocked you out, he voted betray, which brought his BP up to 9.
Yes.
He voted betray, but he was going to stay behind? I have questions about Kay right now.
Yeah.
He attacked somebody to vote betray and then was going to stay behind.
So where is he
Was that
now?
just an act?
It might have just been a ploy to get power, like a power play.
Or was him pretending that he might stay behind an act just to make sure nobody attacks him in the few seconds before he jumps out the door?
I don't know.
With Dio. You told him to go, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Is your arm okay? I
Arm.
heard what happened. Cybernetic arms, huh? Can't say I'm surprised. I was starting to get a feeling something was up with you.
How do you get a feeling for that?
Because I literally
There.
grabbed a man and left my arm underneath a closing gate.
But he wasn't there.
Temioji?
Yeah.
I thought Temioji was there.
No.
Oh.
He just said he wasn't there because he was
Oh.
probably watching over Quark and the infirmary since Alice was also out.
Oh, that's
Oh
right.
wait, no, Alice was out from being punched. But he seems to be phrasing it like as if he's been suspecting us all along of having cybernetic arms. Like that's a thing that you would suspect ever.
Yeah.
There's even context for that. For all those cool cybernetic arm tricks I've done so far, which I didn't know existed either.
I looked down at my left hand. Or rather, I looked down at where my left hand should have been. Instead, there was a stub, wrapped in white gauze. I told myself I'd do anything to get the cure, even if it meant letting Dio betray me. But I had a feeling I might come to miss my hand. Oh yeah. How's Quark?
Right here.
Huh? Quark! Man, I'm glad you're alright.
This is like the only timeline we've ever gotten to see what happens after we lose.
Yes.
In every other timeline, we lose the number 9 game, and then like presumably everyone just like starts spilling all their guts and telling all their secrets and hanging out because they're like, well, I guess we're fucked. But that we never get to see that part, which it probably has all the character development. I bet they all become real good friends when they're all just stuck for hours.
I mean, I was gonna say, do you have anything else to do but become good friends in the
Yeah, like, they probably tell a lot of stories all of a sudden when the AB game's over.
Yeah.
And then we never get to see it.
Feeling better?
Yep. Thanks to you. You got the medicine from that jerk Dio, right? Luna gave it to me and now I'm better. Thanks.
Wait.
You're the best, Mr. Sigma.
No, we needed to make a duplicate of it. That was the only one.
Did they not dupe it? That glitch where his mouth opens 10 seconds later.
You saved my life.
Did they not dupe it? God damn it.
I hate these people.
They fuck it up in so many timelines.
It seemed they shared stories while I was asleep. Of course they did, because why would we need plot? Everyone knew now how I made a deal with Dio, and about the journal we found with the Latin in it. Clover and Phi seem to have done most of the talking.
It was completely the opposite of what we guessed. We're not infected. The rest of the world is. That means this place isn't a quarantine facility. It's more like a shelter.
Wait, I'm sorry, that's what page they were on?
Also, by the way,
I can't keep checking what page they're on. I thought that was what we're running with. The assumption was everybody else is infected, like because of the article that says that. And clearly we're not infected because you can see what happens when the one person's affected and that's not what everyone else is.
Also, do you not understand that a shelter and a quarantine facility are kind of the same?
They're similar. She's just implying which one, whether the bug is inside or outside.
Yeah.
But also, they wouldn't make a facility this big and put like 9 people in it.
No.
And a corpse.
A corpse?
Yeah. The hot new sitcom, 9 people in a corpse.
One of these things is not like the others.
One of these things is old.
Well, we don't know anything for sure yet. I thought the same thing you did, but then Sigma pointed out a couple of discrepancies.
Yeah. Fine, I have already gone over it, but...
I'm still waiting for completely absurd reveals like, the corpse is June.
The old woman?
Yeah.
Why would it be June?
age-wise, it works out because Santa is Tenmyoji, probably.
Why would she be on Mars?
She's dead! And also June! She looks like June.
Does she?
Yeah. As much as an anime character can.
I thought June had brown hair.
Well, she's old, so then now it's gray. Same ponytail, same face structure, kind of. We don't really look at her that closely.
Well, also 3D model, which we didn't have in 999, so we have no concept for what
Yay!
3D model June looks like.
Which would make us, well, not us, but Kay, June's son.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Isn't that what he was, or was he adopted? Was Kay adopted, or was he their child?
I have no idea.
I think in the flashback he talked about them being his parents, but we were running with the assumption he might be a robot because he's still wearing robo armor for some reason in the flashback.
Yeah.
I explained what I noticed. 1. If we were in a shelter for uninfected people, why had Quark been infected? Any place designed to keep a virus like that out would have a lot of safeguards to keep anything from getting in. Had the virus really bypassed all those measures? It didn't seem likely. 2. The timing of our abductions and the pandemic's outbreak was strange. It would make sense if we'd been rescued after the disease had become widespread, but that wasn't what had happened. First, we'd been abducted, then the pandemic had broken out. 3. We didn't know why Zero had put us in the Nonary Game. If we were survivors he wanted to protect, then why try and kill us? If we were in a shelter, why wasn't it safe?
That's the information I'm still waiting for. We recapped this a little bit on the podcast, which is completely out of sync time-wise with when this video comes out anyway, but we talked about the idea of, like, in Ace's Nonary game, the puzzles existed to test the transmitter and receiver method.
Yes.
Between these children, which presumably means that in one of those games, all the puzzles are solvable, and in the other version, the puzzles are not solvable because they have to receive the message from the other children on how to solve it. Otherwise, like, it doesn't explicitly say that, but if Ace didn't set it up that way, he's an idiot, because then he's just testing to see if children can solve puzzles, and it has nothing to do with morphogenetic field, which is a real dumb test to spend that much money on. The second Nonary game had the puzzle chambers didn't exist for any reason other than, ooh, this all happened this way because June saw it in a vision, so it has to go that way. And so they did the puzzles again, and also because they recycled the facility.
Wait.
So, like, solving the puzzles, the actual chambers themselves served no purpose other than the fact that they were copy-pasted from Ace's test / what June saw in her visions. And that's it. So what I'm waiting for is in the grand reveal of this is why there's puzzles in this game besides it's a sequel. Like, what's the in-universe explanation for puzzle rooms is what I'm wondering. Unless there's is there once again 2 facilities and we're transmitting and receiving from each other?
No.
Because we're only transmitting and receiving ourselves, but even then, the things that cause us to do the transmitting and receiving have nothing to do with the puzzle rooms. It's the deadly scenario stuff that's happening to us. We never like, oh, I figured out how to solve this weird lights out puzzle by talking to myself from another timeline. Like, that's not how we solve the rooms. So I don't know why the puzzle rooms exist, and I'm waiting for that to make sense.
Wait, what if?
What if? Are you buffering?
Hear me out.
Trying to figure out how to phrase it or something?
Yes, hear me out. What if? Wait.
Have you not thought this through?
If Sigma, okay, so let's run with the idea that Dio wasn't saying anything absurd.
Oh, we're talking about Sigma being old, man?
When he called us senile and old.
Are you wondering if Sigma is Ace?
No. What if we just are old Sigma?
Old Sigma?
And we think we're young Sigma.
So Sigma from the future has cyber arms.
Yes, but
because he's like the grim dark future guy. He's like future Sean Connor.
No, but
yeah, that's what we are.
No,
we're the grim dark Terminator wasteland Sean Connor.
Hear me out.
That's seen some shit and lost some limbs.
This is more relevant now.
And we're hanging out with our younger self. That's in an armor suit, so we don't recognize him.
No, I don't know about K. I have no idea what K is.
It's really convoluted, right?
Yeah, I don't know what K is. But look at this. If we are actually old and we think we're young Sigma. Like, even if we're going the idea that we have amnesia and we just only remember everything up until the point when we got gassed at a young age, I guess. We'll just assume that we got gassed. We were going to school to be a PhD student.
Yeah.
If we're old, we've probably finished that degree.
Then why are we so stupid?
because we're not us. We're not the old Sigma.
We're so stupid.
But here's the thing. If we're the old Sigma, or if old Sigma has a PhD...
What if it's like a Kane vision and we're actually playing as Zero, playing as Sigma?
That's what I'm saying.
My god.
What if we're Zero?
You think we're playing as Zero?
I think...
You think they're gonna do the same twist twice?
I think we're Zero.
Wait, do you think they're doing the same twist twice?
Yes.
Like, oh my god, all the text that's not specifically said by Zero, I mean by Sigma, is actually Zero's inner monologue. Because that was the twist, I think, last game, was that every description we ever read that wasn't Junpei speaking was actually Akane.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because it was her recapping and explaining her perspective.
I think Sigma is Zero. Hold on. I think I'm trying to, like, how do I
The problem is that it's so open. The problem is that
I don't know why though. Why would you do it?
Being this kind of mystery scenario, like,
why the fuck
it's so open, and we still don't even know the motivations of the villain and to begin with, let alone their identity, that, like, we could make up a reason everyone's Zero and they'd all fit. We could make up a reasonable explanation for every character being Zero, because we still just don't have vital information.
Because here's the thing: the only reason I think that Sigma could be Zero, if Dio's being genuine, and we are old man.
I'm honestly willing to just assume it's a weird line.
No, because look, theoretically we have a PhD, and there is a viral outbreak. So a doctor would be useful in that
What if
viral
he's just
outbreak.
a piece of shit because he's like a 19-year-old and we're like 28, so we're old?
But what if the concept is that Sigma... Wait.
Articulate?
The old thing. You
gotta say words.
The fucking... test site.
What about the test site?
There's the test site.
You said that a second ago.
So we're on... Going with the assumption that we're on Mars.
You're talking about the Nevada site.
Yes, there's a Nevada site. So what if the idea is to see if there's a way that we can cure Radical 6 on Mars, because they do that stuff where it's like, you can fix things in space better than Earth because of weird radio, whatever.
They even say that?
Well, I mean, that's a thing that happens with NASA. NASA says, like, doing scientific experiments in space creates different results than it does on Earth.
Sure.
But in any case, what if they sent us to the Mars laboratory and the Nevada one is still ongoing because we got that file from the Nevada one? And what if that is still going, and the idea is that we're supposed to come up with a solution to cure Radical 6 in space, and then they will receive it on Earth on how to cure Radical 6 and do it that way.
I'm not buying it.
And this is all set up by Zero, who is us, who is a doctor who thought, hey, we could use...
I don't think this game's entire story is going to hinge on the radiation's a little different on Mars, so you can figure out the cure.
Are you gonna fucking say that?
Yeah.
Because this game...
That's like... Because that's not even like a fun anime answer. That's like boring as shit.
999 had no fun anime answers.
It kind of did.
No.
It was dumb nonsense, but like that's just a boring answer.
What's the fun anime answer for why numbers aren't numbers?
That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about the motivation of the entire thing, which was like oh my god, you're saving a child via the future vision, woo! Or the guy wanting to fix his weird vision problems. This one's just like, oh no, radiation's a bit different in space, and that's the crux of the entire plot. Like, that'd be really boring. And also, like, the kind of weird nuance.
Well, I think
it'd also be like the kind of really specific detail that he probably wouldn't know to begin with. If it's even true, which I don't even know how that would affect anything.
I don't think this Sigma knows anything.
Also, if they were doing that, I think their motivation would probably be, let's set up a research center, not a bizarre death game that has nothing to do with researching anything.
Okay, first off,
like, that doesn't connect either.
That's definitely not true, because
like,
Ace had no reason to set up a death game.
Nothing about this involves researching things.
So did the first Nonary game.
In Ace was, in his bizarre nonsense, thought that if he got them to harness the power of morphogenetic fields, he could figure out how to use them himself, and then via morphogenetic fields, he could just be able to tell what people are despite his face blindness.
Which is not how that would work.
No, it's not a great explanation, mainly because it's fields from other timelines. Although this goes to a whole other problem though, Andrew, which is that Ace's entire motivation is based around the transmitter-receiver method of having people work.
Yeah.
Which in that universe, 2 different people were transmitting to each other.
Yes.
And they were seemingly transmitting to each other in the same timeline.
Theoretically.
As if they were communicating over great distances at each other.
Okay.
But the rat example is the same rat dying over and over again and transmitting to other copies of the same rat, which is also how this works. Like Sigma keeps dying in different timelines, and Junpei keeps dying in different timelines, but he keeps information from his deaths.
Yeah.
So like, now, first of all, both those examples just contradict the entire child experiment in the first place, which is a problem of its own right. But also, like, at this point, I think the whole transmitter-receiver thing is just as canon as the Mummy, which is to say not. They just forgot about it.
No, they remembered it, because remember, they mentioned it with, when Clover went on the mission and fucked up the mission, they had Snake waiting in a room looking at a blueprint, and that was how he was going to tell Clover which direction to go in by morphogenetic fields.
Did they say that?
Yes, they specifically...
Why? Okay, here's a question. Why does the transmitter-receiver model only function in flashbacks? Have you noticed that?
Because they can't show it happen in real life because it makes no sense. There's no way to make it make sense.
I'm trying to think.
How does a person look at a map and just go like, do you see this now?
No.
And the other person's like, yes, I see the blueprints.
You can totally just have people communicate telepathically in a story. It's easy.
No, I'm saying...
It's like the same thing as like those things where like people talk over a codec or whatever.
I'm saying morphogenic field is literally me, like you, playing
So
a game.
I remembered one example.
Okay.
The one example of somebody transmitting and receiving during gameplay, I think ever, was the ending of 999. Junpei to June, which is how you say Akane.
Yes.
But that's even more muddled because it's like a time travel transmit receive. But like aside from that, they just have people transmitting to themselves, which is not how the original experiment was supposed to work in the first place.
Well, to be fair though, the original experiment was just an experiment. They had no idea how morphogenetic fields worked.
I can't help but feel like they just can't pick a rule set.
Oh, I mean they can't, but I think the idea...
And we're just ending up more muddled as a result because like Phi and Ace will say completely different rules for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like Phi's like, we're literally hopping. Our consciousness leaves our body and goes to a different dimension to inhabit that body, and that's how this works. And K's like, no, pairs of people can communicate with each other telepathically. And like, much like that, the comment section will constantly like, no, idiot, this is how the rule set works. And then the other comment under them will be like, no, idiot, this is how the comment section works. And they won't even recognize that they're all saying completely different things, just like how Phi and Ace all say completely different things. Almost like no one really knows how the powers that are the backbone of this entire universe work.
Because no one freaking proofreads this damn game.
Yay!
There's no editor, there's just a proofreader. It just goes like, yeah, there's no spelling mistakes, you can launch it.
I'm curious for a second here.
Go for it.
Log. Oh wait, that's the wrong one.
Flow.
Archive.
Oh.
No, I want to look at the morphogenetic field page specifically, like what their exact explanation was in this game. Oh man, remember when that was new? Chinese Room and Golem?
Yeah.
And Turing Test? Because he's just like, I read a Wikipedia page once, I'll put all of them in here and explain all of the concepts. We have had a morphogenetic field one, right?
Yeah, morphogenetic field theory.
Theory holds that there's sort of a field where forms, structures, patterns, etc. of everything in reality are stored. This includes abstract things like language, song, thoughts, inspiration, culture, customs, and ideas. Any information contained, transmitted, or created by matter is held in the morphogenetic field. In the Zero Escape series, people who can communicate by accessing this field are known as espers. If morphogenetic field theory is true, however, that would mean that in a sense all humans are espers of a sort. So that was unhelpful. It just said that the field exists and some people can access it.
Yes.
Shit. Fucking Ice 9. H? Oh, Hongo. Which apparently follows the free soul. Which means that he's retconned into being a...
Wait, he was the person who supervised the kidnapping of the children who participated in the Nonary Game in 2018?
Yeah. Yeah, 999 was 2018.
Somebody better get on them kids!
Yeah, we better save them kids. They're there right now. Oh, shit. Yeah, I guess they decided that his face blindness motivation was too stupid, so they retconned it into being he's a member of the Free the Soul. Which is
yeah,
funny, which is funny as shit.
I don't know what that means.
Also, why did they feel the need to explain to us this? Oh, wait, never mind. That's integer factorization.
Yeah.
I thought it was the other thing.
What's the name of the
digital
company?
Roots. Cradle Pharmaceuticals. I don't recommend Googling things because like you'll get weird results. Wait, are you texting this to someone?
No.
Well, that was really unhelpful. Oh well.
Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see.
What are you trying to do right now?
Perfect.
Because we should keep going.
I wanted to see if there's a real Cradle Pharmaceuticals company, and then we can stop them from kidnapping children in 2018.
Did you find a real one?
Yes.
Can you tell if it's a parody site or not?
It is probably a parody site.
You think so?
Well, it looks like Web 1.0, so...
That's what a lot of things look like.
Well, I mean, particularly bad Web 1.0.
Alright, well, let's keep going.
Okay, I'm ready anytime. I read that already.
Well, what about this? Maybe someone anticipated the pandemic. I don't know who.
Maybe they used morphogenetic fields.
Probably Zero. Anyway, they grabbed us before the pandemic really started.
Really, Clover? You think I might have been the person who did this whole thing? Crazy claim.
Then they put us in the shelter. But then, after a while, he got bored, so he decided to have us play this game to kill time.
What the fuck kind of, like, sociopathic shit is this? Like, he just got bored of us surviving, so he wanted to kill
saved
us.
us all, but then it was like, I'm bored, make them die.
This
and
is
then
like
I made them kill each other.
This is like the worst god.
Clover's the dumbest person.
Yes.
In general.
Who on earth would make people?
You're right.
Who on earth would make people he rescued play a game where they could die just because he was bored?
Well, we don't actually know if there is poison in this bracelet.
And
well.
also that one door is a queue.
You're the only one who's gotten injected so far.
Wow.
And when you did, it was only Soparil.
What are you saying? That what I did at the number 9 door was all pointless?
No, that's not what I mean.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's what you just said.
It's literally what you said.
That can't be it. I'm sure there's tubocurarine in the bracelets. The Adams analysis confirmed it.
Wait,
But
what?
what if the Atom is lying?
Oh my god.
But what if you're lying? Like,
I like that the conclusion of no matter how right or wrong our theories are, Clover will always be dumber.
yes.
If you're going to do that, then we don't have anything to base any speculations on.
Got
You could
it.
say that the newspaper article was fake, or that the Latin journal wasn't real.
Or you could say that everything that happened in this entire game all happened just because a little girl that died 9 years ago saw it in a vision and therefore it had to be recreated in those exact ways.
Did she see
Or the
this
journal was
too?
real, but
Oh my
translation
God.
was a lie.
You made it up?
No, my translation was accurate. I'm just making the point that once you start talking about this stuff being fabricated, it doesn't stop. I don't think Zero is doing this just to take the piss out of a lime.
What?
I was just trying to stress that I don't think Zero would do this to pass the time.
How do you make that mistake?
Ba-ba-ba-bum. It's just as funny as it is every time.
However, I do think Clover has half a point.
Meaning?
That someone did anticipate this pandemic.
You know what's good about having half a point? It's even sharper.
Okay.
That part seems reasonable.
Really, half a point is double the point. At least it's double the pointiness.
Well, if the virus was spread on purpose, then I could see how that might make sense. Yeah. It's not like Noah put all the animals on his ark after the flood happened.
Okay,
he
look.
went around before the rain started falling to gather them all up, right?
Are you saying that we were rescued because we're all that's left of humanity?
They didn't do a good job.
Yeah,
First of all, bad list. Also, short list.
Also,
We were
Clover,
brought here
really?
because someone knew there would be a pandemic that would turn us into an endangered species?
Also, if we were supposed to go fucking, you shouldn't have put one of the people in armor, so that they can't. Also, bad gene pool making two of the people the same person. That really just poisons the well when 50% of all men are the same man.
Does
Yeah.
that mean we're supposed to repopulate the planet?
Well, it's good thing.
Repopulate.
It's a good thing half the men just left. Hey, ladies.
I looked around and did a quick inventory.
Also, whenever I've heard about genetic diversity issues, this is supposed to not be enough. Like, this number of people is not supposed to be enough to sustain yourself genetically. Like, you will ultimately become like inbred anyway.
Well, yeah.
At this population size, like
I mean-
9 people is not enough to save humanity.
4 women, an old man, and a kid. That meant I was the only young, fertile male.
Oh no! Don't do this! Don't do this, Sigma. It's not funny when you say it. It's not funny when you say it.
Repopulation.
No, Sigma.
That didn't sound so bad.
Oh.
If that was the case, maybe there wasn't any reason to escape.
God damn it, Sigma.
If the newspaper and the journal were right, then the world outside was crawling with a deadly virus. Why would we go expose ourselves to that? This would be the safest, happiest place on Earth.
Yeah.
No.
Except everyone will be your children, and then next they'll all have like 3 legs, like in the next generation.
Jesus.
They'll all be like, they're like, turn off the reactor, Quaid.
Gross.
The game's over. There's no point to any of this now.
No, that's not true. The game might be over, but we've still got a lot of unanswered questions. In fact, we've got even more questions.
So, are those answers going to open the number 9 door again? It's all over. Why we're stuck here doesn't mean shit. The 8 of us aren't leaving, ever. That's all that matters.
I think the fact that they can transmit information to other copies of themselves from other timelines makes it all the more frustrating we don't get to see this post-ending stuff usually.
Yeah.
'Cause this is where all their vital information might come out. Like, maybe we'll finally hear Tenmyoji's story he never had time to tell us, which he
Yes.
still hasn't told us. Because he was like, oh, well, that's the end of that, bye.
By the way, this website for Cradle Pharmaceuticals is a real website.
Is it just a real Cradle Pharmaceuticals?
It's just a real Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
What's his address?
The address is actually located in Bengal.
Can you start an appointment under the name of the director of this game?
Wait. Okay, no, never mind. I was like, wait, actually, maybe I'm wrong. But no, these contacts are not people from the game. Yeah,
It's not Hongo.
Mr. Santanu Bakshi, which is general manager, and so on and so forth. So there is a real company, copyright 2015.
I mean, Cradle is not really a difficult name to name your pharmaceutical company.
No, but it is currently 2018, and we need to save children.
8.
You're including the old woman?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? What if the old lady is Zero Senior?
Why not? Because Zero Senior is June! Because she was Zero!
Yeah, you're right.
It's a weird face from him, right?
Yeah.
Huh. All the girls are shocked and all the guys are like, that was a good point.
We never even considered that.
But that would mean the person in charge of all this was murdered by somebody.
Or she's
makes
actually
sense.
alive! Then she just gets up like, hi, I'm Jigsaw. I was alive the whole time. That's the twist. Like, it's just the Saw twist, where the guy just gets up and he was never dead. You wanna play a game?
That
Maybe
is
she wasn't murdered.
that is like I still hate that.
Are you revolted by the very suggestion it might be true? Are you considering that it might happen?
I am considering it might happen, but also, because if it is based on your theory, like say your theory and Quark's theory combined, you think it's June, he thinks it's Zero Senior. If that's the fucking case, it's June, so she has access to morphogenic fields and she knows how to use it, which means that she is like just getting information from every timeline and then just using that to create an ultimate timeline where she gets her ultimate goal as Zero.
Not dying again.
Well, no, particularly whatever Zero's goal is.
God, if this was all just to make June not die again.
That would be concerning.
Huh?
Are you saying she was infected with Radical 6 and killed herself?
That's
We
most.
didn't find a knife or any kind of weapon in the AB room with her.
Her being dead from Radical 6 seems like the most likely answer just because of the fact that seems to be where the disease gets from, because Quark seems to play with corpses. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
And then, whoa, wow, Quark keeps taking Radical 6. I wonder if it's because he always plays with his corpse. See, that looks like June.
I guess.
As much as really simplified anime characters can look like each other, like, that's more or less June. It looks as much as like June as fucking Tenmyoji looks like Santa.
Sure.
Maybe she was killed somewhere else, and then someone carried her in there.
What? What? That's ridiculous.
Well, maybe we should go take a look at her one more time. Maybe we missed something.
We didn't.
Sure, okay.
And then someone kills themselves because they have Radical 6.
Yeah.
Did
We looked down at the body of the old woman.
Did we ever scan her? Or just assume she was dead?
We did scan her.
Vi was the first to move. Quietly and methodically, she began to examine the woman and her clothes. I just stood there.
So, Fi, are you wearing, like, gloves or something? Or are you just like, get this disease in me?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, but they're all like, maybe she killed herself with Radical 6. And then they're just like, I'm gonna rub my hands all over her.
Again, man.
Even if she was dead, no. Especially because she was dead, I just didn't feel right touching her. After a few silent minutes, Vi suddenly stopped. She pulled something from one of the old woman's sleeves and held it out toward me.
Akane Kurashiki.
Well,
It's fucking June. I think I called that like super early in the playthrough too. It's Akane Kurashiki.
wow.
Yeah! That's the second time, by the way, second Nonary game in a row where fucking Santa is going around with a photo of the girl that's dead in the same game. 2 games in a row with a dead Akane? Is the end result that we save Akane? That also means she's in all 3 games, by the way. That means June's in all 3 games, even if she never speaks in this one or whatever.
I'll be so fucking mad, man. We're gonna walk out. We're all gonna escape. All right, we're all gonna get the 9 somehow, and we're gonna all escape. And fucking Ace flying on a damn spaceship,
He's just like a
passing
head-
by.
he's just a head in a jar.
Just a head in a jar. He's like, hey, I could see it's June dead down there. Figured out the face blindness. Just needed robot eyes. And he just flies away into the sun. And then we all hope the fucking series is dead forever. God damn it. Really? Akane is in the fucking game dead.
That was in her sleeve?
Also in her sleeve.
Yeah, why was her ID card in her sleeve?
Well, I guess-
I thought they were gonna pull out like a bracelet. Like, oh, look, it's her bracelet. She was a
It just says like I heart Junpei. And
No, I
it's
mean
just
like her contestant bracelet.
Oh.
Instead, they pull out her ID cards in her sleeve.
Why do you even need an ID card?
Well, because she worked at this facility. She might be the one that did the message.
Oh. Okay.
It's totally,
A card?
It's totally Akane.
God damn it.
Yes.
That's insufferably annoying.
Yes. Does that say? What does that say? That doesn't say cradle. I can't
Where?
read it. It's all sheeny on top. Those are letters.
That says
It's like Deborah.
no.
ID Deborah. I can't read it.
Wait.
Ibuprofen. Of course it was Akane.
Okay.
I seriously feel like I called that like one of the first times we saw her body.
You probably did, honestly. I
Looks
couldn't.
like an ID card for this place. Since it's got her picture on it, I'd say it's a safe bet the card is hers.
Huh, looks like her name is Kurashiki.
Doesn't have a first name on it?
Kurashiki. Ever heard of it before?
Ever heard of it before? Turn me Turn straight to him because he's literally holding a picture of her right now. He has it on her.
I know, but could you
Like
imagine?
if that doesn't come out right now, I'm gonna be kind of mad.
Could you imagine he just like turned
Also, we should remember that from seeing it in another timeline.
like Sigma just turns around. He's like, "Do you know who this girl is? Her name's Kurashiki. Weird name. Sounds Japanese.
Sounds like your last name, Tenmyoji Kirishiki. Isn't that his name?
No, I don't think he's ever said his last
Doesn't
name.
his name have to be Tenmyoji Kirishiki if they're brother and sister?
Well, if it's Santa, yeah.
Yeah. I assume Tenmyoji is his first name.
Unless Santa. Wait, unless it's not Santa.
It's Japanese, so I'm not sure. I could assume it's either first or last name. I don't know the name very well.
What if it's not Santa?
I don't know. Then I'll be disappointed because that was the first thing that made us interested in the story.
What if it's.
It's really depressing that the things that make us interested in this game are whenever we get revealed that there's characters from the old game in it, as opposed to anything about the current cast.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of like who else could it be?
Nope. You?
No. Anything on the back?
Oh, it's the password.
Well, it's definitely Akane.
It's Jumpy. Yeah, it's clearly Jumpy, because referencing the doll that Jumpy gave her. Do you know what the username was? We had it before, definitely, right? We definitely had the username. I just don't remember what it was. So the password's Jumpy Doll.
There's something written here. It says Jumpy Doll.
Well, actually it says pass equals Jumpy Doll. So I'm guessing Jumpy Doll is a password of some sort.
What the hell does that mean?
Beats me.
What? It's a password. What do you think passwords are?
Looks handwritten. She must have put it on there on her. She must have put it on here herself so she wouldn't forget it. God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's having a struggle there. Aneurysm?
So she has a she's also she's on
So that's the ID card that
I love
we need
the
to
idea
use
of one of the
computer.
most successful users of morphogenetic fields in history has a terrible memory and can't remember her own password.
I think she probably wrote it down in the event that she died.
You think she wrote it down for people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were still looking the card over when I heard a commotion from the other part of the room.
Alice, what's wrong?
So this does mean that both Kei and Tenmyoji know who June is.
Yes.
Because Kei literally killed Dio for killing her. We also confirmed that Dio killed her, apparently. That was a while ago, though. I don't remember the exact situation because that was like 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
But that was more or less confirmed, too.
Alice!
Is Alice going to have fucking Radical 6?
Oh no.
What are you planning to do with that?
Don't tell me she has Radical 6 again.
Fine, I turned around and gasped.
Damn it.
We ran into the other end of the room and skidded around the partition.
Oh no, it's that one screenshot from before. Yep, the exact same one.
Can you skip this?
How does she keep getting it? No, I can't skip
Yeah.
it.
You went to auto?
No.
Yes.
Auto isn't skip.
Oh, right.
She didn't see, there stood Alice, her hand wrapped tightly around the scalpel. She didn't seem stable. Her eyes were flat and hollow, and she had Radical 6.
Wow.
We're flashing back to him having it instead of her having it?
Can we flash
She
back?
looked just like that time with the stuff.
Can we just not? What?
Is she gonna stab herself right here?
Her hand moved, lifting the scalpel up high in the air and then driving it down toward her heart.
Hey, it's that one.
What the fuck was that?
That was way more efficient than running away.
Oh.
It ends instantly. Are we Alice?
So I guess we're not allowed to talk to Tenmyoji about who
That's really
Akane
frustrating.
is.
That's
Quark
really
and
Wait, what? I like that Quark is such an uninteresting character. He doesn't even have an ending that has anything to do with him.
Well, he got cured of Radical 6 and then infected Alice.
What did he even say? What was the most he said was like, what if that's Zero Senior? That's his whole input.
Yes.
That's the Quark ending. Is him being like, what if thing that anyone could have said?
Well,
Fuck it. We got 2 endings today. I'm happy.
this is a
already.
good sign.
Look how
2 left.
Look how filled in the screen's getting.
2 left, boys.
All that we'd have left is Phi and Luna.
We're gonna beat this game in under 80 hours.
All that's left is Phi and Luna. Here comes the waifu wars.
Oh, God.
Oh, we did it.